get right into it. A lot's happened. I understand. We are full in this RP, so I'm going to just bring us in, and we're going to start right where we left off. You guys ready? Fantastic. Part 2. Petrol's walking over to this body, and he picks it up, and he begins to walk away. There was something you wanted to say?
Yeah. Who is the body? I want to see.
I don't know. He stabbed me. And this little bird lands on his shoulder, on Petrol's shoulder. I need you to roll for me and a history check to know whether or not you've seen this bird before.
History.
It's pretty simple because it has a buggy eye. It's got a derp eye. It's kind of like that pigeon you drew a long time ago.
Oh, 17.
17. You hear a voice in your head say, "You're very furry. It's not what you think. I'm right here." And it's Archibald's voice. And as he pulls the bag back, you see Archibald's body. But the person you're holding, he just looks up at you and winks. And
the person I'm holding winks?
Yeah, the blonde-haired
human?
The young boy you're caressing in your chest.
That's been caressing
each other
for way too long. And he just kind of winks, and then he pulls out from underneath his jacket your dagger that Archibald gave you, that he stole from you 5 minutes ago while you didn't have any idea. And he goes, "You want to take a drink?" And he puts it back in his pocket. And Petrol goes,
I knew it.
"Well, okay then." And he just and he just runs off. He's gonna find a nice little grove to kind of bury it in. Does anybody want to go with him or anything to check out this? Oh, okay.
I'm walking over here.
This is not the DM telling you should go check the body, but that's fine. That's fine. Do what you need.
Boy, Steve, go watch him bury that guy.
All right, yeah, fine. No, I'm gonna follow the robot.
You're gonna follow the robot?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm gonna follow the robot.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. So, that's that interaction. You were gonna do something with Sheldon? No, sorry.
We had already had the conversation
That's correct.
about how Sheldon was very upset.
Yeah.
And how he wants us out.
So, all right, so I walk over. All right, guys, I talked to Petrol, and this is what's happening. That cool cape super thing he's got on, he got it from the guy that took your money.
What do you mean took my money? Wait, hold on. You're telling me he gave 1.5 million gold for that gaudy green, blue, red? What color is that crap? I don't even understand. And he's just throwing a tantrum. He's throwing rocks, and he just kind of baby stomps away, but his little tiny stuffy legs, he's just throwing a tantrum, pulling out the little hair that he's got.
So, yeah, that's what happened there, all right? We're wanted by the intergalactic place, or interdimensional place, sorry. And it's real bad. We need to figure out a plan here. If we're getting kicked out, which it sounds like I caught that back into that conversation, what's the plan here, Balrog?
I think that we do need to leave. However, I think that there are some things that we have to wrap up here. Where is Steve?
Oh, Steve was following the robot. Listen, I think if the only thing we're going to make us right is to go into that interdimensional place, find that guy, kick his ass, take the money back, that'll rack us up with Sheldon, right?
You see, this is good. Let's get all bad ideas out first.
Mate, I'm just coming off the cloth here, mate. I busting my balls for.
Right when you hear the words "bust your balls," you hear this loud. I mean, it shakes all of the ground. And good old Mr. Stevie Pooh, he is watching. I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. It's really cool in my head, but it's not going to go well here. Steve, you're in, I can only imagine, awe as you're slinking, watching as he's taking this body out to a middle of the grove with some flowers. Petrol begins to levitate up about 15 feet in the air, puts his hands together, and then pushes down, and the ground in a 5-foot square just goes, recedes into the ground, and that's what everybody heard.
All right.
He then looks, he floats back down, takes the body, lays it in, and you see him like hunch over, but parts of his body are coming unhinged, and he creates himself down to lay his chin with his arms, and his legs are almost like a box format as he's like unhinging and bringing himself, so he's sitting, and he's just watching eye level with the ground, and then the body's recessed in this like little area. And you're hearing words. Do you go closer? You're just watching this. I'm guessing at like afar.
And I'm gonna get closer. Can I like make out what the words are?
Sure. Give me a perception check. How far away are you? How close are you going to get?
5 feet away.
Oh, sure.
5 feet behind him.
Oh, yeah. Then you don't even need to roll. You
Okay.
hear it, and it's just him reciting a piece of paper that he's got a pamphlet out in front of him. He's just reciting the words that he's reading on the pamphlet.
Oh, okay.
It is a prayer to Pelor. It's things like, "Receive this body. Please understand, he lived a good life. He did not know what he did. Please, and I pray, Pelor."
Voquis very offended because actually he followed the Raven Queen, but that's fine.
So he then begins to unhinge his body, steps back a couple of feet, and like bumps into you unless you are moving or you.
No, I'll step out of his way.
He steps back, brings his hands to the side, and then with a motion, as he's motioning in a half circle, the ground begins to become stone and creates a tomb that comes over the body, creates a semicircular, smooth tomb over the body.
He's an earthbender.
And then he comes back around, and as he's turning, the magenta color from the chest, since you're behind, fades, and he looks at you and says, "Is that acceptable, Steve?
That was very good, Petrol.
Would you like this pamphlet? I learned a lot."
Sure.
He
yeah.
hands you the pamphlet. "I have 30 more. Please
good.
spread the word of Pelor."
Oh no.
Dude, are we just gonna clear it?
That makes me happy.
Give us a second to talk about our Lord and Savior.
Is there any interaction there?
No, I wanna ask him about the cloak.
Sure.
Like Petrol,
Go for it.
do you know anything about the cloak that you got, or did you just buy it because it looked nice? What's the?
The cloak speaks to me.
It does. What does it say?
I am not allowed to tell you. It tells me that you're probably not one who can understand it.
Do you think I could try?
He looks away, and the shutter begins to close like he's thinking, and it struggles and then goes back, and he goes, "No, it is not for you. It was gifted to me."
But you bought it.
That is correct.
Can
not
I?
there.
I wanna try to message the cloak.
Sure.
Oh, the cloak's intelligent, right?
Make a wisdom saving throw.
All right, that's fair.
The DC is 24.
Ooh.
That's a hell of a cloak.
All right. Let me just.
And you're alone
Yeah.
with that robot and that
It's
scary
fine.
cloak.
It's fine.
That one.
It's fine.
You sure? What's your wisdom score? It's
Not
fine.
great. No, it's
It's not fine.
it's a crit.
Not fine.
Book,
It's a crit 4.
Crit 4.
Oh, cool.
What happens to Steve?
Is anybody around?
When it's a 5, but
No, he went off by himself
By himself.
into the woods.
Good
Okay.
thing.
He rolled a
I'm going to roll this dice. Let's
roll
roll.
this one. Roll this one.
Let's roll this boy. Option 1 is 1 through 3, which I already have predetermined in my head.
'Kay.
And option 2 is 4 through 6. It is a 1.
okay.
Steve, you feel a sense of darkness just encroach over your eyes. You, Petrol sees your eyes glaze into just black. You find yourself in this unearthly space of just darkness. The floor is made of straw. There's no light, but you can feel it as you have no shoes on. You see a sense and a vision of a burning Catholic church. It's what I can only imagine.
Oh, so it's not. It looks like a Catholic church.
Yes, it's not an actual Catholic church.
That complicates this world a little bit.
A Catholic church, so you understand,
Is there
like the
a fantasy
visualization with these tall, very huge spindles, the archways, everything about like a classic Catholic church.
Okay.
It's actually a church to the
And
other
there is fire brimming all inside of it. And the doors are being banged on. And you are a couple 100 feet away as this is a bright light. And then in an instant, you are 5 feet in front of the door. And in this instant, you hear women and children and people screaming, burning alive inside. You have two options as a voice rings inside your head. Lift the bolt or consume them. It is your choice. And what they mean by a bolt is this giant iron bar that's keeping the door as the door is it's just being pushed as there's people behind. Choose.
Time to try any. Lift the bolt.
You, Steve, you walk up and you put your hands on this scalding bolt and you hear these people, and as you lift, and you're going to need to give me a strength check, as you lift this bolt off to see if you can raise, if you have the constitution to be able to raise this.
That is a 17.
You put your forearm on it, knowing that it's going to burn your skin, and you raise this bolt, and right as the doors burst, you feel these millions of souls just pour over you, pouring out like a wave of water all over your body. And in that second, as they pour over you, your eyes glaze back. And the cloak, hear a little snap and the cloak falls to the ground. And it says to you, "You are mine now."
All right.
It begins to float up like it's being carried by nothingness and float around behind you and clasp itself around your neck. The eye, you can feel it blink on the back of your neck a couple times, and then the voice inside your head goes, "Alrighty then. This is going to be a good one. I don't know who that guy was, but man, this is going to be fun. Now just go ahead and take that bracelet off." And without the control, you're going to the bracelet. Just go ahead and just raise your hands right up in that sky. Feel the power that makes you you. Tax accountant yesterday, death and fire today. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy.
You wanted it.
I got the cloak. Ooh, that's a 20. Not nat.
A soft 20.
Yeah.
You're able to fight off this urge to raise your hands in the sky. And is there anything you want to say? You're having a conversation in your head with this thing.
Not here.
Then somewhere else, I'm gonna make you feel the power that is latent inside of you.
Sure. Just not here, not now.
I have to choose when. Raise your hands one more time and tell me I am not your god. Make one more wisdom saving throw. Because you beat the last one, is only a DC of 12, as you've already beat the hardest part.
That's an 18.
Is there anything you want to say to it?
I'm going to say no.
You feel this like shrinking on your back as the clasp gets tight around your neck, and it says, "Submit to me."
No.
And then with a flat no, then the eye blinks, and then you feel a pierce in the back of your neck. And with that, you feel this breath of fresh air. The darkness that you felt encroaching over your body dissipates. This weight, this seeming heavy weight on your body is lifted. And you have acquired a cloak.
Sweet.
Well done.
Even though it almost made you
I beat the cloak. Yeah. Steve beat the cloak. What's up?
Go, Steve.
I
Not gonna lie.
am so impressed right
Yeah.
now. I'm so impressed.
Not gonna lie, that
Don't
was the deciding
fuck with
factor.
the tax accountant.
Ice
cold.
So if he failed those, were we gonna have to battle Steve?
Ice
Yeah.
in his veins.
Dude, I was looking at your spell list. I was
She was like, what am I going to do to fight this
yeah,
guy?
I was like,
Good thing there was petrol there, just
Yeah,
in case.
just in case.
Petrol goes, I don't hear the voice anymore. Thank
God.
you, Steve.
You're welcome, Petrol.
Instead, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Okay.
At advantage, because you are just on a whole nother level at
Steve's
this
on
point.
a roll.
This cape, it begins to flow
Oh,
again.
that's a soft 20.
Ooh, there you go. You see, with that perception, with Petrol being in front of you, this is the first time, other than the LED of his light, his eyeball, that there's a tiny tint of green behind the blue ethereal. And the green begins to grow. And almost like a heartbeat. Like little baby flashes inside, right next to you. But with that soft 20, I'll give you this tidbit. You see the cube.
Okay.
It is held by little tiny needle-like appendages holding the cube in suspended space inside the core. The green light is emanating around the cube.
This is going to sound like a stupid question, but
Shoot.
What kind of green?
A very vibrant green, like a
Like plant life or
yeah,
mold?
like a plant life. Like that's
Okay,
like a
all right.
neonish green.
All right.
A soothing,
Just-
sweet green.
That was kind of what I was after. Like, is this a green I should be uneasy about, or
I want to insight roll the green.
I like
Okay.
that. That's a good
pull
move.
out my
a good
paint
one.
chips?
It's a
Like,
good one.
what kind of?
Is there anything else you want to do with Petrol at this point?
I need the hex color for the green.
No, I think I'm good with Petrol. This is a big moment for Steve, though. This is the first time I think in his life where he's like, maybe I am okay at this magic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are no longer Steve. You are Steven.
With,
Yes.
Stephen Strange.
with a 20, I will give you this bit. The animation of the cloak was way more before than it is now. It feels like something has diminished.
Okay.
Just so you're aware.
Okay.
Okay. Now to everybody back else. I know we're like split
Steve walks back in. Call me
This is a question to
Professor
the DM.
Weird.
Question to the DM, and I don't
What
know.
up,
Question
Bruce?
to Steve. Do you have our cube that we brought back from
The obsidian cube.
the Obsidian Cube? Is that in your store? Do you have that?
Who has that? Make the decision. I can't
yeah, it
remember.
doesn't
Oh,
matter.
okay.
One of
Make
us
the
has it.
decision.
I thought Elric had it because you still have one of Jargle's
If
hands.
Elric
Yeah,
has
well,
it, then
I've
I
Jargle's
have
hand.
it. I took all of Elric's.
You
That's
have
true,
it.
you have
Okay,
it.
So
So
you
you-
have
then
the
you've
black
got
cube
it.
we had. Okay, cool. Just making
Steve,
sure. Obsidian.
you do recognize, because I forgot, thank you for bringing that point up. You do recognize the cube to be the same cube.
Same
The
same cube or same kind of?
Same, it's like an exact replica of the cube
Okay.
that you guys have inside of him.
Interesting.
Oh, so we have.
It's
to
a
spare
test-
I was gonna wait till somebody brought
Well-
it up, but that with a soft 20, I'll give them those bits. That's fine.
Well, he said we have a spare battery. I don't know how I feel about that.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
cold.
All right.
Bruce,
So
what do you
Bruce, we're gonna. I finished the conversation. All right. So what we're gonna do? What's the plan here?
I think we need to gather as a group and make decision as
Alright.
one.
So
Okay.
we're gonna walk and go find Voquis and Steve.
got? Voquis.
Voquis is
What does Voquis wanna do?
going to take Archibald
Yep.
and go somewhere.
Are you
I want
gonna
to
go
say
make love to
private.
Archibald?
No. See, and I feel
Down
like I want to go somewhere where we can be like alone, so I can talk to
Love
him.
shack.
I don't want it to be weird. but-
It's not. Look, let's be honest here. No one else knows this, and it just looks like you hugged this stranger for like a solid 5 minutes from a to a oh, and now you guys are gonna hand in hand walk off.
away to a private area.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, you find a place behind one of the only two buildings that are alive.
Yeah.
And he goes, What? I don't remember the voice that I did for him. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm just gonna like
just gonna go
grab
with it.
him by the shoulders and be like, I need all of the information. Like, tell me everything.
Well, the problem here is I don't know all that much.
So
I wasn't in Waterdeep when it happened.
do you know what happened? Do you know what Malcolm did?
Malcolm has the contingency to go to the four planes if something was to happen.
Okay.
The problem is I've been there for the last X months,
Okay.
and he's not there. Haven's not there.
I think Malcolm might be dead. I think.
Well, let's hope not. I don't
think-
even want to think what would happen if he was to die during that spell. Right?
think
Who
that's-
knows where they end?
I think that spell. I think that spell might have taken all of his powers, and he might have died. I don't know. I heard that like my name is up there. That I did something to Waterdeep. There was this big hand that came down and took all the souls from Waterdeep. Should I go and clear up the situation?
Yeah, if you were to go there right now as you, yeah, they're going to execute you on the spot.
Cool.
Your friends, they're all being sought after too. It's just you. Are they still alive?
No.
Well, probably good for them then, because at this point, it's bad. They blame you, the three of you, and Haven for all of Waterdeep. Where Haven is,
Well, that's
we have no idea.
well, that's Nathaniel's fault.
Well, he's a wild card, but
He's an
he wouldn't have done this to kill all of his people. So something I fear went wrong during the spell, or something else.
I'm worried something happened to Malcolm.
I've been just staying low, hoping that somebody would come across. Nor did I think a robot would knock me out and put me in a bag, and here you are when I opened the bag.
Where's that other person?
I have no idea. He was just another body in there, so I just made him look like me, so just in case something happened, I'd just be this guy.
But you're
And then,
you.
and then he makes himself to his form, the
Like
Archibald
his-
form,
his-
his normal elf form,
Like his elf or like drow form?
the elf form.
Okay.
He's not going to show his
Okay. I
drow
just-
form
yeah.
in front of
I
anyone
figured,
else.
yeah.
Yeah, he becomes the elf, and
hug
then
him again.
he's goes right back to his other form.
I hug him again.
Sure, and he just
It's just so nice. I haven't seen anyone. Ava, her soul got sucked out of her body. Elric died. He went back to the Eve. You're the only person I've seen in months.
well. I'm glad to have seen you, and it looks like the training has done you a great bit of good. You've
flex.
survived. Yeah, you flex. He's like, ooh, lift much.
My strength score is 11, so yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's actually my arms.
Yeah.
He just kind of gives you a big hug, and he says, I have a good gig here, and I don't know where all this cape stuff is happening, but I might have a lead on how to get us to the Four Planes.
Do you know who's stealing all the money?
Yeah, it's the guy that did the cape.
Oh, cool.
He's the other contact, but he saw an opening, and it seemed like the robot, as dumb as he is, fell for it.
Oh, do you know his name?
No, nobody does. It's kind of like a shadow. Works for some company there, some lords. Haven't really looked into it because, in all honesty, they just pay me, and pretty hefty, to do all this and teleport a couple times and call it a day.
Sweet.
So,
Do you know any information about the cape? Any magic-y stuff about the cape?
no. The guy always wore it, so I'm very surprised that he gave it up. It must have been for a large amount of money.
1.5 million.
Oh! Well, depending on what it does, maybe it's worth it. I don't know.
You want to train before?
Absolutely not. I can't let anybody know that. My point is to make sure everyone thinks I'm dead. This is the new identity, which I will produce more. So if you see me and a raven lands, you know it's me.
Okay. What should I call you?
What would you like to call me? This one I literally got right before I got hit in a bag, so I have no idea. What's a good name for me? Looking at you. And he looks at his own self. He's like,
So,
I'm going to give you a
Out of-
chance to name him.
out of character.
Yeah.
Do you really want me to name
Yeah,
him?
name him. Well, I don't know if he was going to say yes to it.
Alien.
I'm about to say Daddy, so I
No.
don't think you want me to name him.
I understand you're not making the whole hugging thing
No,
look better.
no.
Just walk into town with your daddy after all that shit.
He's got like a little leash around his neck. It's just no.
Eesh.
He's actually a succubus. You're dead. So no,
No,
he
no, no,
he looks
okay.
down. He goes, "Call me Andrew.
There we go.
It doesn't suit you.
Andrew Flatbottom."
It doesn't-
He looks at him. He goes, "Yeah, this is not.
no, you
This
thick.
body, I need a
you
new
thick.
one."
You got some cake.
I don't know. This is flat. So he's going to be
it doesn't
Andrew.
Suit you.
Well, it's Andrew. And he's going to
made a
say,
choice.
We'll
you know,
workshop
Voquis,
it.
it's
We'll workshop it.
We'll workshop it. It's good to see you. Make sure to tell no one, and be careful. We'll talk here again soon. I will talk to you through the Raven, so that just don't speak out loud, or otherwise everyone will think you're crazy.
Okay, cool. And then I show him Jeff.
Oh yeah, Jeff pops out. And he's like, he just poofs in your arms, and he stretches out. He looks over at Archibald. Archibald just, with a glare, looks down. He goes, "I hate cats."
I was like, "This is Drew Sullivan."
And
Pointing
he just
pointing to
What?
Archibald.
He's going to take a step back and go, "I'm highly allergic.
Oh no, he doesn't have fur. He's a familiar.
It looks like there's fur." And he's just going to kind of keep his distance between you and Jeff. And Jeff's like, "What's the problem with this guy?" And just talk to you.
It's okay. He was in a bag for like a few hours, so. He's gonna...
Got any nip? Feel
Yeah,
an itch?
I reach in my pocket, give him some.
Oh, his eyes just go super wide. And
I
then
offer some to Drew. I'm like, "You want some drugs?"
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Voquis the
Generous.
enabler.
I forgot Voquis was a heavy drug user.
How could you possibly forget that?
And he's just going to nod to you and then walk around the corner and try to help people.
Okay, before he goes, I give him one last hug.
Sure.
And I give him a kiss on the cheek.
Oh, and he's just kind of like, "Okay, no more, we're done."
Okay, bye, Drew.
It's Andrew. Okay. And he's walking
Bye,
away.
Drew Sullivan.
Oh,
That's
Jesus.
your name now.
He's like, "And that's over." Cool.
We'll workshop it.
We'll workshop it. That sounds like a plan. You guys, anything
We're
left?
walking over to find Steve and these guys. We gotta have a powwow.
Okay. Petrol's there with you. Do you want Petrol to stay? Not stay?
Yeah, he can stay.
Okay. Petrol's just standing. Do you meet up with them?
You see me walking out of an alley with this guy that I was cuddling with in the alley for 5 minutes.
Or
Yep.
you're done with your love boy there.
That's
This is
canon,
all so
folks.
unfortunate.
That's canon.
Steve, I noticed that you have cape.
Yes, nice, isn't it?
What happened?
I arm wrestled it with my brain, and I won. So now I get to have it. I don't know what it
Somebody's
does.
winning arm wrestling around here because I'm fucking what.
I have some more information, but we have to go somewhere private to talk about it. I
You
don't
guys
wanna
are
talk
pretty
about
much
it.
private at this point. There's
Okay.
really no one around.
Right.
You guys can speak.
But we're
freely.
like in the middle of the square.
No. You guys
Let us
are-
go to
you guys have
tavern and
moved.
we shall discuss over drinks.
There you go.
Cool.
You guys make it to the tavern. You guys are relaxed. You're in a private corner. Without yelling, you guys can speak freely.
As we're in the tavern, I take my ale and I look up at the bar and I sigh heavily, remembering Hilda, and drink my ale.
That's fair.
All right, so basically, I think we're being kicked out of town.
Cool.
And the guy that stole the money is the one that gave Steve, Petrol the cape, and now Steve has it, which I'm confused about how that works.
Also, that's the guy that's been stealing all the money
Right.
and is the person behind all of this. Don't know his name.
Oh, that's great.
Don't have
How
any.
did
I
you
was
come
hoping
by
someone had.
information?
From Drew Sullivan.
Who is this?
He's at the bar.
Oh,
Drew's at the bar?
He's at the bar.
Drew!
He just turns around, shakes his head.
Andrew!
He's just gonna stay at the bar and ignore you.
He doesn't want to talk right now.
Why are you yelling at stranger?
He's not a stranger. I know him.
He looked like stranger to me.
Well, not anymore.
Obviously.
Once an alley, twice an alley, 3 times, not a friend. All right.
Stranger. So, Steve is just desperate to figure this cloak out.
Sure.
Don't you have a spell that you can identify things with?
Nope. I don't think I do.
You know who I think does do that? Sheldon.
We're
seems
not-
like
we're
he's a
not
high-level
Sheldon's favorite
wizard.
people
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
not sure.
There's no one in here.
We're
other
not-
than you guys.
I don't.
Oh.
They're
Maybe
all
tomorrow.
still tending
Yeah.
to all the wounded, the dead, and everything else.
I just want to test and not take it off, but is there like a visible clasp, or is
There
it
is.
just latched onto my
It's
neck.
a visible clasp that
Okay.
brings together, and it's a star clasp. It's made out of bronze,
Okay.
and you can try to take it off, but it is not coming off. It does not unclasp.
Well, I can't, apparently.
Yeah,
So-
I would.
All right,
I didn't want to take it
So-
off. I just wanted to know if I could.
Here-
That's good information
You
to
try,
have.
and it does not come out.
All right.
Here is the situation.
It's a hanging hazard.
We
Yeah.
need to get out of town. We need to find best way possible to do so. Sheldon is very upset at all of us for Petrol's dumb mistake. However,
We also need to avoid the cops.
All right.
Petrol's sitting there at the table
Yeah.
with you guys, and he's got this big jug of beer, like way bigger than all of you. And he looks over at you when you say his mistake, and he looks over and goes, I didn't think it was a mistake. I'm sorry, master. And he takes the jug and pours it, and it's just going all down his body like he's drinking.
Right.
Continue, just so you understand.
The other thing we could do, well, it's a great idea. I ain't fighting it, but what if we go into the other dimension, find the guy, get Sheldon his money back, then we can maybe also find out why we're wanted.
So, here's the thing. So I can probably get us to the corner of the 4 plates, using the shard thingy, whatever.
Technical term.
Whatever it's called, right?
The sharp
Yeah,
thingy,
whatever.
whatever.
I did that for John's reaction.
It's in the PHB,
For
actually.
the PHB, yeah.
The shard thingy, whatever.
The John
Shard
PHP.
thingy, whatever. But the thing is, here's the thing. We are all wanted by the government, whatever, international.
Andrew says, the Senate! And he puts his bear down.
The what?
The Senate! And he spins around and walks over to you guys and goes, how do you guys not know what the Senate is?
The Senate. We're wanted by the
Yeah,
Senate.
what? And he kind of pushes Petrol aside and like scoots his way.
All
and he
right,
goes,
Mr. Drew, tell us who the senator is, mate.
First off, it's Andrew.
Oh,
And
whatever,
second
I don't
off,
care.
all
Lovable boy.
The MDP
Right.
is after you guys.
Why?
Everyone is after you. The Waterdeep police are after you. The MDP is after you.
I have a question. If Waterdeep doesn't exist anymore, how is there still Waterdeep
Right.
police?
Yeah.
The Navy, which is the police, we're not in Waterdeep.
Ew.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Everyone is pretty much trying to get you, and man, there's a lot of money. If I could just turn you guys in, I'd be pretty well off. But,
But you love us.
well, I
you
don't
love me.
really know you, but thanks for putting me in a bag looking over at Petrol. I tell you what, I'm sure I can figure it out. Getting you guys home to the 4 plates. If that's your home, if it's not, I don't really care, but I'll do it for a fee. I can get you guys back there. Whether or not you can get back here, that's up to you. But I can at least help you in that way.
what is proposition?
Well, let's just say I'm in need of a familiar. I'm in need.
Jeff.
No. Jeff pops up and then no.
Yeah, it pops it back.
I'm in need of a displacer. I have a job coming up that I'm going to need a phase animal, and they are on this plane. If you could get me a phase animal, I would be able to happily get you there. Or if you just tell me, and I'll probably end up doing it either way. But if you could get me that, I bet I could do something extra for you. And then Sheldon's just going to kick open the door, and you hear, all right, this is the deal. And he's going to walk over all haughtily and like grab a tiny beer and then hop up to the table with you guys. And his head's not really up to par, so he has to stand on the seat, so he's at least eye level with the table because you're at the only normal size table. I apologize. I went off the handle there, and did not mean to do that. So I'm sorry, Balrog.
It's all right.
It's your robot. Your crazy death robot. He's gonna look over him and just glare. I don't want to know. I'd rather have you gone. The next storm, we'll harness and we'll send you through. How about that? Andrew pipes up. He's like, yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. Send you guys through and then be out of my hair. I still want my money, but I'd rather have you guys leave and not bring more death and destruction my way.
What if we bring your money back?
Then we can talk. I gotta rebuild. You gotta get laborers, gotta get the people, all that stuff. I want my money, but at this point, I forgive you. You guys really weren't the problem. You were just in a bad situation, and I flew off the handle. So I apologize.
A generous offer.
Thank you, Sheldon.
Yep.
Sheldon, you want to take a look at this cloak real quick? Because I can't take it off.
Do you,
I don't know what it is.
Okay. Tell me exactly what you're doing when you do that.
Are
you showing him
I
picking up?
am gesturing at it.
Sure.
Not touching it.
Yeah.
Just like,
You're going
hey.
to try to gesture towards the cape. When you're about to say these things, give me a wisdom saving throw.
The cape really
That's a 12.
Okay. You are unable to talk about the cape or motion towards it. When you start to speak in reference to it, as it's sitting right there, you just kind of go, and you stop. You feel when it keeps you from doing it, you feel a pain as there's still a sharp something in the back of your neck.
Okay.
Steve, I thought you were gonna ask Sheldon to identify your cape.
I'm going to try to nod.
Sheldon, can you
You
identify
are
the
able
cape?
to look at her and go, "Oh." You can respond, but not in a positive manner towards the cape.
Okay.
It is
easy for
keeping
you.
you from acknowledging the cape in any form.
Or I don't know what's going on over there. But
You just look stumped. Like your character looks like.
Can I, Sheldon? Can you identify this?
I mean, I could. It looks like a cape. What's the deal?
Do you have 10 minutes and 1 action to identify it?
I got about 100 actions and plenty of time. Sure. And he's gonna walk around while you guys are drinking. He's gonna identify the cape,
Thank you.
and it fails.
oh, great.
Neat.
Ooh,
So
I like that.
He goes, huh? Well, that's interesting. Have you ever heard a voice in your head?
Couple
You
times.
can't respond. Referring to the
Ooh, you should ask the robot because he had it on too.
cape. I don't know if would say that as like the character.
Yeah,
But
because you
I
wouldn't
was-
You
know.
I
wouldn't
was-
you wouldn't know that he's unable to say.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking. Like he just kind of
Oh.
goes, "Have you ever heard a voice?" And you, Steve, you're unable to respond in any yes no form.
yeah.
So it's just kind of like dumbfounded.
Can
And
I?
He goes, okay. And then Petrol says, "I heard voices." So they begin a conversation talking about it as a sidebar. Go ahead, continue.
Or so petrol's good now, right? Or what we doing here?
What do you propose? You seem very anxious to get out of here. I'm trying to enjoy vodka with friends.
Well, mate, it's your robot. You do what you want to do, right? But can we trust this guy?
Can we trust who?
Petrol.
Yes, of course. He's my robot.
All right. Should we go to the other planes?
We
I-
should.
I
It's a
would like
great
to go
place.
back. Maybe another person will stab me.
If another person stabs you, we do not kill them immediately.
I will do what I need. It's called self-defense.
Right,
don't
just
immediately go to
incapacitate him or something. No, we got to rip the guy's head off.
Set
Petrol,
phasers
as
to
far-
stun, please.
As far as Petrol is concerned, you will listen to me first, and then.
That is fine, Master.
Okay.
But I don't listen to you anymore.
Oh.
Your
that's
name
my
is
point
Master,
right there.
correct?
I now take the tea that's on my table and just sip it. It's steaming hot.
Oof. This is the contest. He says, "The only thing I don't understand about myself is why this cube is unable to do anything other than give me what I am. I realize that you gave me life by producing electricity, which kickstarted what is inside of me. Master, I would like to spend time in a library, as this is my goal to find what this is. I would like to become a librarian.
Dile que no.
Oh, I think we should let him do that.
What
Get
would-
him far away from us.
What would happen when you find out what exactly this is?
I do not believe there is another type that is like me. I can see, I can draw, I can dream. This does not seem normal for my kind. I do not know why I see what I see at night. I don't need to sleep as I am what I am. I would like to learn more as to why I have emotions.
What do you see at night?
I will have to show you my book. And he pulls out of his little haversack this small little drawing booklet, and you flip through. And as you're flipping through, you see pictures of things you've never seen before. These are all things that I see through my mind, as I don't know what else to call it. There are pictures of scenery and of buildings and of things that, in this time frame, has not been created. He goes,
Do I recognize any of them?
no, I mean, you can look at it if you want.
Yeah.
Sure, roll me investigation. It's not what you think.
Just the accusatory
It
gaze.
is. It is very much accusatory.
10.
Okay.
Is it the Indianapolis skyline?
It is not the Indianapolis skyline. Thank goodness I wouldn't do that to you guys.
That would
you,
be-
you take the book from Balrog, and maybe you ask, maybe you don't. But you're looking through it, and you see these
I do that.
these buildings that are made from mud and stone, and the ground is seemingly looks like fire is licking up it. There are 3 suns in the skyline. The buildings are all very much mud-based. They do not look like an architecture that is of anything that you have seen before. He goes, it seems to be a nice place.
It's Tatooine.
It is called Tattoo Bean.
That sounds more like Munstafar with lava coming up from the ground.
He goes, I don't know why I see it, but every time at night, I see something different.
Do you
And when I
hear
look
things in your
down,
dreams?
I see my own hands.
Do you hear things in your dreams?
I do not. It is what I would call a silent movie from the 1940s.
That got
I
away
don't
from
know
you,
these
didn't it?
words. I would like to know why I'm seeing these things. I think it's because of this crystal. And he takes his hand and pulls a piece of the metal. You hear this actuators releasing, like latches bringing apart, and he brings the chest piece open. And then the light glows green, and there's the crystal. Well, the perfect cube in the center. I can touch it. Ting, 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 ting.
Do you mind if I, for a second?
Stop.
I'm
What?
gonna
What?
just
What?
cast Detect Magic on it.
Oh, okay.
Sure. You cast Detect Magic. It is... You spend the time. Everyone sits there quietly and awkwardly as you're just like...
I just do it as an action. I don't do it as a ritual.
Sure.
Voquis, I don't know if we ever told you this or not, but that cube that you have, our cube, if you touch it with your hands, you're like, I don't know, you'll disappear or some crap.
What cube?
That cube that was in Erlic's bag. Don't touch it with your hands.
Do you bring out the cube? It's in your bag. It's in your bag.
Yeah, like
Right next to the shard.
Oh,
You have
right,
the
she
cube
can touch it.
between
Okay.
Yeah.
with a cloth if you're going to listen to them or not.
Yeah.
Are you going to listen to them?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We think those cubes are tied together or something. That's what the
What
barf
happened if I
bag,
didn't
whatever
listen to
his
them?
name's
Would I
after.
disappear?
What? No, you don't
I can't.
disappear.
I can't. What is that?
You don't really like you just
What
fall.
would happen if would I disappear if I touch it?
No.
Wait, tell me what would happen.
You would like go limp. I don't know. Do you remember, Balrog?
Our best guess is that
It is not
the
guess.
stuff that makes you goes
away.
in there.
Your body stays here though. It's like you're
Yeah.
dead. All
If I touch it, my
Right.
soul goes in there.
right.
Seems
Like
that way.
Ava.
Right.
Like I could be with Ava. Again.
No,
Okay.
don't.
I look at Drew.
Is this like a Lord of the Rings scenario?
Precious.
Do you think Ava's in here?
Andrew goes, I don't remember the voice for Andrew, so here we go. Yeah, I don't know.
Definitely not the voice
I've
for
I've never seen that thing
Close
before.
enough.
And I probably would listen to them. That's super creepy. You guys don't feel that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't want
Every
to.
time I
Might
get
check
that thing
magic's
gets
still
near
on.
me.
Sure. It's brimming with magic.
Yeah.
It's very magical.
All right. It matches what's
If you
inside
want
of
to
Petrol's chest.
peer into it, you're gonna have to give me a perception roll. And I'm looking for a DC of 20.
And then a dex saving.
Wisdom.
Just roll again.
It was worse.
Nice.
Sure, stick with the first one.
7.
7? That was definitely not 20. So, yeah, you just look into it, and with a 7,
It's
you
just really
see things
bright.
going
Yeah.
like little lights flying around inside.
I make Sheldon look at it. Sheldon, do you see Ava in here?
Sheldon kind of peers at it and goes, I don't want to touch that. Just put it back in the bag, please. Does anybody else feel cold?
Yeah. Oh, I don't
Andrew
want
and
that
Sheldon
bottle.
are
No.
feeling
Oh.
cold.
I
What
don't
you
want
guys
that
are, you
cube.
feel a temperature drop in the room as you took that out of the bag.
Yeah.
You put it back in the bag.
I'm still looking at the robot.
Yeah, so Petrol, he's going to bring the chest plate back, and then he's going to look the rest of you and go, I need to find out what this is, as it seems to be different. It would make logical sense that this would be the reason that I'm having these things happen to me. It's also the reason why I can seemingly do magic. His big
wait.
jug that's empty, it fills from the bottom all the way back to the top. See?
Ooh, me next.
He touches it and it fills back up.
What happens if Petrol
right.
touches the cube?
Oh, he already touched his own cube.
No, I know, but
Well,
The other
he's a
one.
robot though.
They're the exact same cube. They're exact same size.
well,
and they
I
do
know,
all the
but
exact-
his
he
is
hasn't
green.
touched this one.
sure.
That,
I'm not suggesting he does it.
put
that
it
just
back in
occurred to
bag.
me.
It gets really
let's-
cold in the room
Let's
again.
not. Oh, don't play with
Maybe-
that thing. It's very dangerous.
all in due time, Petrol. But for now, I would see bodies warm.
Well, I can tell you this. If we can go back there, I'll do my best to conceal you against the MDP.
Or what? You can do that.
He looks over at Balrog and changes your complete appearance.
Oh, me next. Do me.
You guys can pick however you want, but he goes through casting on each of you, even Andrew, casting it, and then casting it on himself.
I want to look like Brad Pitt.
Everyone gets to choose what they look like,
I'm
but
Brad
then
Pitt.
Sheldon just kind of loses it, and he goes, "Well, all right then. Well, it seems like you're just gonna go through the storm tomorrow. We have another one on the way."
One thing. While I still have my detect magic looking, I would like to stealthily look Andrew up and down to see if he has any magical items on him.
I mean, his entire body is glowing.
Oh, Baron, do I look sexy?
Yep.
Get your hand off of me.
So
What do you look like, Baron?
what? Yeah. Do you have
Just
something?
quick yes
go
or
for
no.
it.
Can
Go.
I think about the cloak?
You can commune with the cloak.
Okay.
But nobody else.
That's kind of what I figured.
Is it considered attuned?
We'll find out on next time. So, Sheldon just looks to the rest of you and goes, "Well, you got 12 hours. Get what you need done. Looks like you're going to the 4 plates." And that's where we're going to end the episode. So, quickly, lot has transgressed. I'm going to go around the room. I want you guys to give me what Balrog, Bruce, Steve, Voquis, what your characters are thinking at this exact moment. Go, quick.
He is not happy. Petrol just pretty much said, I don't listen to you anymore. I'm not having that. We're very frustrated trying to communicate with the rest of the group, trying to figure out the best plan, this, that, and the other, and trying to deal with everything that Steve's got going on. Now we have this Andrew Archibald guy kind of going on. So as far as like how Balrog looks at everything, especially from like a leadership standpoint. He wants to figure out a plan and then go with it.
So much confusion.
There's been like 4 or 5 different speed bumps that we've hit, and he's frustrated.
Good. Bruce.
Bruce is happy that he looks like Brad Pitt.
Talk to the
Oh
camera.
yeah, Bruce is real happy that he looks like Brad Pitt now.
Okay.
Bruce is super confused. He's worried about the cubes. He's afraid that we're bringing them too close together, and now we're getting ready to go into the other dimension with
I
both
don't
of
think
them.
they're magnets.
I don't think they're magnets, but Gargle is after us.
Jargle.
No, Bruce
Gargle.
is gonna call him Barf from now on to his face.
Yep. The hand kind of scratches
right.
your arm every time. Yeah.
So yeah, he's worried about all that. He thinks we're gonna be in some danger.
You have now the ability to unclasp and clasp that on your weapon to anything, technically, as long as you can take it off.
Alright.
With a bonus action, you can call it back, and it will
How
do
far
damage.
can I throw it?
It's going to return.
It probably has it probably has a 20-foot range.
It's going to
normally
return back.
and 60
Right.
foot at disadvantage.
You're going to have to
probably.
figure that one out, my friend.
All right.
That's the typical range of
Bruce is
thrown
excited
weapons.
about his new toy.
How you feeling, Steve?
Steve is panicking because he's got essentially a sentient noose around his neck, and they're about to do interplanal travel. So he just very badly wants to figure out what this thing is and what it does.
Yep. Okay. Voquis.
Voquis is excited to go back to the corner of the 4 plates. She is definitely going to get another sample of the chocolate ale to bring back to Hilda because she remembers how much Hilda liked it. Hoping that Thandrin's there because she hasn't seen him in a long time. Hoping to get some drugs
Or
to
traveling
numb
around
the
with
pain of losing her fiance. Super excited to have Archibald back. Oh my gosh, that was rough for a second there. Thought she'd lost everything.
Yep. Okay. So, as this episode comes to a close, a lot is transgressed. We have a lot of things and problems arising, and you guys are dealing with them accordingly. And I want to say thank you to my players for coming through such a long and RP session, but thank you to all the listeners, as truly, doom and gloom, happy go zany, anything and everything. This is our story, as is much yours, and I want to say thank you, as we are saving Arcana. Thank you all. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.